Have you ever been in a situation where someone asked you a question in English and suddenly your mind went completely blank?
If that sounds familiar, you're not alone.
Maybe you were ordering coffee. Maybe you were introducing yourself. Or maybe you were in a job interview just like our friend Sam.
Millions of people feel exactly the same way. Even people who've studied English for years.
Sam walked into the room smiling. The interviewer said, "Tell me about yourself." Simple, right? But Sam's heart started racing. His hands got sweaty. And instead of saying, "I worked at a company for 3 years," he said, "I work in company 3 year."
But here's the good news. Feeling stuck doesn't mean you're failing. It just means you're learning.
He wanted to say more, but the words just disappeared. And in that moment, Sam felt embarrassed. He thought, "Everyone speaks English better than me. I'll never get this right."
And today, we're going to show you how one small challenge, just 7 days, can help you go from "my mind is blank" to "I've got this."
Hi everyone, welcome to Master English Hub, the friendly, no-pressure podcast for English learners like you. I'm Eve, your host, your cheerleader, and someone who's made plenty of English mistakes. Yes, even I eated once.
And I'm Adam. I'm here to ask the questions you're thinking, laugh at my own errors, and remind you that learning a language is a journey, not a race. Today's episode is extra special because it's based on a real challenge I watched Eve take on last week. She decided to stop worrying about being perfect and start practicing with courage.
That's right. For 7 days, I gave myself one clear, simple goal. Learn and use 10 useful English phrases in real conversations. Not just memorize them from a book, but actually say them to real people. At the store, on the phone, with friends. Why phrases? Because when you know whole phrases, not just single words, you can speak more naturally. You sound more like a real person and less like a dictionary.
This isn't about sounding like a news reporter or a movie star. It's about feeling confident enough to say what you mean without fear. Whether you're studying for a test, preparing for travel, or just want to understand your favorite English songs better, this episode is for you. And remember, every expert was once a beginner. Even Shakespeare probably said "eat it" once. Okay, maybe not, but you get the idea. So Eve, let's go back to day 1. What did your challenge actually look like?
Great question. First, I knew I needed to pick phrases that are common, useful, and a little more advanced than hello or thank you. I asked my English teacher friend for help, and together we chose these 10. On the same page, hit the ground running, think outside the box, get the ball rolling, keep me in the loop. It's not rocket science. Break the ice, under the weather, piece of cake, and better late than never.
Wow, these are phrases I hear all the time in movies and meetings.
Exactly. But here's the key. I didn't just write them down. I made a plan. Every morning, I would learn 1 or 2 new phrases, say them out loud 5 times, write a short sentence using them, and try to use them in a real conversation that day. I also told my sister, my best friend, and even my dog Max. Okay, Max didn't understand, but he listened very well.
Laughing. Good listener, that dog.
And I promised myself, no shame, no quitting. If I made a mistake, I'd just say, "Oops, let me try again." Because here's the truth. Mistakes are not failures. They're practice.
Okay, let's jump to day 4. Halfway through, how was it going?
Honestly, better than I expected. By day 2, I'd already used break the ice when I met a new neighbor. I said, "Hi, I brought cookies to break the ice." She laughed and said, "That's so sweet." And just like that, we were chatting.
That's awesome. And so natural.
Yes, and on day 3, during a group call with my online English class, our teacher asked, "Is everyone clear on the homework?" I took a deep breath and said, I think so, but just to be sure, are we all on the same page? Silence for 1 second. Then everyone said, yes. And one student even said, good question. I felt like I just won a gold medal.
That's huge. You used an idiom, and it worked perfectly.
But here's what really helped me. I stopped trying to be perfect. Instead of thinking, what if I say it wrong? I started thinking, what if I say it right? And I used 3 simple tricks: mini stories, mirror practice, and real-life practice. For mini stories, I'd make up a tiny story with the phrase like, my math test was a piece of cake. I finished in 10 minutes. Stories stick in your brain better than lists. With mirror practice, every morning I stood in front of the mirror, said my phrases out loud, watched my mouth, and smiled. It felt silly, but it built confidence. For real-life practice, I looked for any chance to use my phrases even if it felt forced. Called my mom. Hey mom, just wanted to keep you in the loop. Ordered food? This menu looks great. Hope it's a piece of cake to decide. Okay, maybe that one was too much. But she smiled.
Laughing. Creative.
And my family got into it too. My little niece started saying, better late than never. Every time she came downstairs for breakfast after 9 a.m.
Aw, that's cute and great reinforcement.
The best part? I stopped feeling alone. Every time I used a phrase, I remembered, millions of people are learning English right now just like me. We're all in this together.
But it wasn't all smooth, right?
No. On day 5, I hit a wall. I tried to say, hit the ground running, during a work meeting. But I was nervous. And I said, we need to hit the ground, run. My coworker looked confused. Run the ground? I froze. My face got hot. And for a second, I wanted to disappear.
Oof. That feeling is real.
Yes. And later that day, I mixed up under the weather and under the table. I told my friend, I can't go out, I'm feeling under the table. She laughed and said, are you hiding under furniture?
Laughing. Classic mix-up.
But here's what I learned. Struggles don't mean you're bad at English. They mean you're brave enough to try. Instead of quitting, I wrote down my mistakes, practiced the hard phrases again, and reminded myself even native speakers say weird things sometimes.
So, day 7. The big test.
Yes! I scheduled a 20-minute video call with Lena, a native English speaker I met through a language exchange app. Before the call, I was nervous. My hands were shaking. I thought, what if I freeze? What if she thinks I'm not good enough? But then I took a deep breath and remembered, this isn't a test. It's a conversation. We started talking about books, then travel, then funny language mistakes. And guess what? I used think outside the box when she asked about my job. My boss loves when we think outside the box. I said keep me in the loop when she mentioned a future event. I even joked, this conversation is a piece of cake. She smiled and said, your English is really good. You sound so natural.
Eve, that's amazing.
Tears came to my eyes not because it was perfect, but because I did it. I spoke. I connected. I didn't let fear win. And the best part? I used 8 out of 10 phrases, and the other 2, I'll keep practicing. That call wasn't just a win for my English. It was a win for my confidence.
So what's the big takeaway?
3 things. Small goals create big change. 10 phrases in 7 days sounds tiny, but it built real confidence. Second, use it in real life. Language lives in conversation, not just in notebooks. Third, be kind to yourself. Mistakes aren't the end, they're part of the path. I didn't become fluent in a week, but I became braver, and that's even more important.
And you proved that you don't need perfect English to be understood, you just need to try.
Exactly. Now, when my mind goes blank, I don't panic. I take a breath and try again. Because I know I'm not alone. You're not alone. We're all learning together.
So, listener, what's your English goal this week? Maybe it's learning 3 new phrases. Maybe it's saying hello to a stranger in English. Maybe it's just watching an English video without subtitles.
Whatever it is, go for it. And tell us about it. Leave a comment below or send us a message. What's one phrase you want to learn this week? Or share your funniest English mistake. We promise to laugh with you, not at you.
If you liked this episode, please subscribe to Master English Hub. We release new, simple, encouraging English tips every week.
And watch our next episode, 5 magic phrases that make you sound friendly and confident, coming this Friday. Thanks for listening. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and remember, you've got this.